Hello, good night. My name is Sergio, and I'm making a video, this particular video, in response to some people's misconception about Haile Selassie. So I wouldn't go into details about his history, I just give a brief history. Haile Selassie was born in 1892, and he was believed to be killed on the 27th of August 1975 in a coup. Right? I'll deal with, I wouldn't go into his childhood ending. I'll deal with his pre-World War II, so after World War II. Right? Okay, so what I'll start with is he ascended the throne in 1930, right? Coming to the end of the decade, somewhere in 1936, somewhere like that, World War II broke out, right? And it was the plan of Adolf Hitler to conquer the world. So what he did, he formed allies with Italy, Morocco, and Japan. And the plan was that Germany would have controlled Europe, Italy and Morocco. Italy would have controlled Africa, and I believe Morocco would have controlled West Asia, the Muslim countries and things like that. So the Italians invaded Ethiopia, right? Haile Selassie went into exile for 5 years. Now when Haile Selassie attained the throne in 1930, Ethiopia was rural and backward, right? Leading up to World War II now, when the Italians came and took over for 5 years, it got worse. So when the war was won by the Allies, Haile Selassie came back home to Ethiopia to rule over Ethiopia again, and it was in a worse state that he left. It was already rural and backward. So Haile Selassie was to build this country from scratch, right? So Haile Selassie started building schools. He was obsessed with education, so he started building schools, hospitals, factories. He went into intense farming, everything that a modern country needs. So again, he started building government buildings, running electricity, water to places, right? But what people don't understand is when Haile Selassie was killed in 1975, the population of Ethiopia was over 30 million people. You could imagine that, 30 million people, right? So this country that he was ruling over is not like Trinidad or America, or it was a very complex place with complex people. We had over there it had a big Muslim population and a big Christian population. That was the two major rivals. There was always tension between the Christians and the Muslims. Right? Haile Selassie belonged to the Christians. And then we had what they would call the Falashans, or the Jews, the original Jews. The correct term for them is the Falashan tribe. They were Jews. And then we had a lot of what you would call bush people, tribal people. 20,000 tribe here, or 20,000 there, 50,000 people, and different tribes of people make up this country called Ethiopia, right? So within Haile Selassie trying to modernize this country, right? The system he set up, he is the king, and he had like they divided Ethiopia into districts, right? So what he had, let me just say somebody like an ambassador then, or a governor. That is what they call him, a governor. So he had governors controlling this area and that area, right? And within trying to modernize this country, again, he had different tribes, different religions and things, right? So it have areas that he run roads to. He even took to the, he built a lot of airports and things. So again, I mean, he was really bringing this country into the 20th century. I mean, he did his best, right? But the people of Ethiopia was a very stubborn people in terms of, all right, let's say this Muslim tribe, a Muslim tribe where like the majority of Ethiopian was Muslim and Christian. And you need to get this Muslim tribe here, right? I just joined the description. You need to get to this Muslim tribe, but to get to this Muslim tribe, you have to go through a Christian village. And then after this Christian village, you have like what you call bush people or tribal. That's another tribe. Now, you want to run a pipeline to run water to the Muslims, right? So when you go through the Christian area, and you reach the bush people or the tribal people, and you say, well, you need to run this pipeline. The governor say, well, we need to run this pipeline through your village. These bush people will now say, pipeline, we are accustomed to getting our water from wells. This pipeline is something of the devil. We can't allow this thing to come through our village. And so within trying to modernize this country, he had a lot of obstacles with a lot of people not wanting roads to pass through their village and believing this thing is too westernized, this is something from the devil, and we cannot allow this and cannot allow that, right? And what happened is a group of university students who were following Marxism, that is communism, decided that in their minds that Ethiopian progress was going too slow, right? So they decided that they were going to take control of this country by doing what they call a coup, right? With backing from Russia. The Russians armed them, and they were able to take control of Ethiopia with a coup. And we all know how that turned out. When they took control, the country just went right down from that. So again, there's too much misconception about Haile Selassie. Haile Selassie was a conscious, positive black man and a credit to his race. And that's something I want to touch on before I go to. The British and the Americans was Haile Selassie allies, right? And, within talking to people, and people telling me that, Haile Selassie was a dog because he was feeding lions and things like that, people starving and things like that. Remember again, when he was overthrown, there was over 30 million people in Ethiopia, the population. Now, when the BBC came to Ethiopia in the 50s and the 60s to do documentary, they came and they approached him and they told him that, hey, what you need to do is flame your legacy, because all the past presidents of the world, America, Theodore Roosevelt, and all the popular leaders of the world have put themselves on film. So you need to film yourself, right? So he agreed. And what happened is, things that what you call a photo op. So in instance, like there's a tradition. All US presidents have dog, and they would always show a picture with the president and his wife walking on a dog, and he will stop and he will take his hand and rub the dog head and smile and wave to the camera. So what the camera crew people told him that if Haile Selassie had something like a Yorkshire Terrier, right? But what they told him that doing that is too Europeanized. So what you need to do is to interact with a local animal. So Haile Selassie, around his palace, he had lions and things like cheetah and things. So what they did was photo up. So what they did is they brought lions and things, and they filmed them feeding lions, just giving lions or tigers or cheetahs pieces of meat and then rubbing their head and things like that. So when you see these images, it was just photo ops. that doesn't mean that Selassie was neglecting his population to feed lions and tigers, right? That was just photo ops suggested by the BBC. So the BBC camera crew told him that, this will look, it will look like, you like animals and things. So that liking animals will make you more likable by Western people. Western people like people who like animals. So they did photo ops with him actually feeding lion, taking a piece of meat, a chunk of meat, and giving a piece of lion, giving a lion and rubbing his head and things like that. So it doesn't mean that he neglected his people to feed lions. That a lot of stupid black people I hear saying that he has all the starving people and he feeding lion. I think that was just photo ops. So I just thought I would touch on that. And again, my name is Sergio, and I hope that this video I make was informative. I mean, I could go into so much about Haile Selassie. I mean, so much positive things he done. He built schools, primary schools, universities, hospitals. I mean, if you go on YouTube, you will see documentaries on him. Things like big dam, big dam, to dam water. He run pipeline. I mean, so much of things he done for this country. And to hear uninformed black people putting down this man, it's a real disgrace. So I mean, if you're black or Indian or whatever you are, you're looking at this video, I would like you to share this video and share it with ignorant people. Ignorance simply means you don't know. Ignorance doesn't mean arrogant. Ignorance simply means somebody don't know. And I am putting out this history here because I want people to know and understand who was Emperor Haile Selassie. I rate him as the greatest leader of the past century, simply because the state that this country was in, a backward, rural country, from the time he took it up after World War II and what he brought it to in the 70s, it was like taking a country from medieval and bringing it into modern, bring it to a modern country. And we cannot deny that if we look back at the history and stop listening to stupid people and look at the facts. This is the facts I bring into your ear. Again, my name is Sergio, and thanks, and I hope you find this video informative. Thank you.